everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me today, my good buddy, old pal, it's Andrew Santangelo. Andrew, how are you doing over there? How's the Oklahoma life treating you?
I'm doing very well. Very well. Was at the Rangers game yesterday, seeing Texas and Minnesota yesterday. So that was a fun game, back and forth a little bit. Saw some home runs, and I'm ready to get on the show here and dive into these plays.
Yes, I'm excited that you're here as always. You're always a nice little refreshing take on everything. Your National League sensibilities make me a little more even. Uh, it was a hell of a baseball day yesterday, Andrew. A hell of a baseball day. You were at a game yesterday, so I assume
I
you
was
missed a lot of games. Um, I had a wonderful day, Andrew, and I'd like to tell you about it.
absolutely go for it.
So I can't even. I know sometimes it's hard to believe that I've had such a good day when you look down at my picks, but we go 6-2 yesterday, up 6.79 units on the day. I had Orioles money line. They cashed with a 1-0 win. The bullpen shuts it down, and Dean the Cream Machine Kramer pitching lights out back again. Oakland money line, first five and full game, both of them cash for me, winning 3-2. The Astros kind of threw it away. Framber Valdez, two pass balls, give up the lead. Thank you, Framber. They were at the bottom of the fifth, too, I think it was, or the fourth. I can't remember now exactly, but great there. First five full game casher with the Oakland A's at plus 250 and plus 220. Now, I don't know how long I'll have to keep saying it, but no baseball team should be minus 300, and we'll keep fading them in every turn here. New York Mets team total over 3.5. Shout out to my guy, Dommy Gunn, who was at that game, a very electric game. Amazing game. Playoffs atmosphere. Keith Hernandez gets his number retired. I'm sure Dommy Gum enjoyed all of that. So shout out to my guy, Dommy. Red Sox, Yankees over 9. We needed extra innings to do it. And boy, oh boy, the extra innings do it for me, Andrew. A great game. Red Sox win on a walk-off. A rookie Cutter Crawford goes out there and dazzles the New York Yankees. Now, Andrew, I'll say this now. I think it would be one of the worst collapses in baseball history if they lose this division. I just want to say that now, right?
Oh, without question. I mean, it would have to be.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
this. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, okay, well, I'm glad we've got that established now because Yankees fans seem a little nervous. They don't want to say they're like the World Series favorites. They don't want to say they're the favorites in the division or anything. They seem a little worried, and I'm excited to see it. We also cashed with the Seattle money line last night. That was awesome. I very much enjoyed. I don't know what it is about this Seattle Mariners team. It's just so fun to watch sometime. They're also on a 7-game winning streak. I bet on both teams that were on a 6-game winning streaks last night, the Orioles and Mariners, they both win them. 2-1 victory there. So a lot of tight games going my way yesterday, which is awesome. The only two losses I had was Pittsburgh first five team total over 1.5. Which, was a stupid bet. I should have just taken the two-team total over 3 again. I mean, I always do it. I was a little worried about Woodruff. I was a lot worried about Woodruff, and then I just singled Woodruff for some reason. So that was just a dumb bet. And I bet Red Sox team total in the first 5 innings over 2.5 at plus 135. That loses as well. But overall, like I said, a great day. Enough dick sucking. A fantastic day. I'm glad that I had it. But we move on, Andrew, and we move on to a new day. And I'm glad that you're here, Andrew, because guess what, Andrew? Welcome to Say Hey Plays 95. Say Hey 95 officially underway, Andrew. It's going to be an exciting card to say the least. We'll start off with maybe a game that doesn't excite everyone. And by everyone, I mean you, Andrew. Orioles versus the Angels here. And I might keep this short and sweet. I'm going to take the Orioles right again. I'm going to take them right again. I made the graphics at around 8 a.m., 8:30 this morning. The line has moved a little bit towards the Orioles' way, so now they're minus 110 each way, 8.5 still the total. Austin Voth is not a pitcher that inspires confidence. Obviously, last 2 appearances versus the Rangers at home, 4 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, 1 walk. And then versus the Seattle Mariners at the Seattle Mariners, 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. One of them earned 2 Ks and 1 walk there. The Orioles against lefties, 2 are 25th, 86 weighted runs created plus in the last 3 weeks. But there's magic in Baltimore right now, guys. And I'm going to keep riding the hot hand. I'll ride them. And the Angels right now are just so poorly putrid. They're second to last against righties, 29th, 70 weighted runs created plus. I'm just going to keep riding the Orioles here. It's going to be a fun time again, but this game starts here in about 20-ish minutes. So give me that Austin Voth and Orioles love here, minus 110.
Yeah, I mean, the Orioles luck, what? They had 3 walk-offs this week, 3 or 4 walk-offs this week, I think.
It's been great.
But I think I like the over screaming at me in this game. I mean, two questionable pitchers coming off a 1-0 game yesterday. I feel like it's kind of to bounce back almost toward like a Friday 5-4 kind of score here.
A little 5-4 Friday action. A little walk-off, another one, Andrew. You predicted another walk-off 5-4?
No, I'm not predicting the walk. I'm saying like this. Yeah. Both teams here scream, like you mentioned, Voth not anything to scream about, not a lot of confidence. So I feel like he gets touched around today by Trout and Ohtani and company. So, and then reverse that. I feel like the same thing with, I mean, you can't trust anybody on the Angels right now. But, I mean, I will say this. I mean, Baltimore sweeping the Angels would be very surprising.
It would have been like a couple of months
I'm saying like a couple months ago. Obviously, right now, with the Angels have struggled all season. Yeah, it's not. But, I mean, Baltimore, it's crazy in itself that they're only a few games under 500 at this point.
I mean, they're in the wild card hunt, Andrew. Yeah. They're in the wild card hunt. They're right there.
Well, everybody's in the wild card hunt this year with the extra team.
You're right about that. Christopher Commentini saying the Angels can't wait to get back to the West Coast. Surprised Trout and Ohtani are in. I'll say this. It's kind of like the reverse, I guess, of or what I'm doing with the Blue Jays and the Angels. The Angels want to get back to the West Coast, and it seems like they're a West Coast and an East Coast trip and just flux. Where their weighted runs created plus, Johnny Gonzalez, for the last 3 weeks, it is 29th against righties, 70 weighted runs created plus. So there. And Sabino and Guano saying, bro, they scored 1 run yesterday. That's not hot. They've won 7 straight, Sabino. It doesn't matter how it happens. 7 straight, that's hot. I'll take it every time. Does it lose today with Jose Suarez, a pretty capable lefty? His last appearance against the Astros, and he only gave up 2 runs and 4 2/3 innings pitched. So shout out to him. He's capable. But give me the Orioles today. Give me the Orioles money line today. It's going to be a fun matchup there. Let's move on to this next game. Your division, Andrew. Nationals, Braves here. And the Braves are humming. They are doing their thing. The best part about the Braves is whether their pitching is on or not, that offense is always going to be there. And it's always there with guys like Austin Riley, Matt Olson. It's been William Contreras all of a sudden now an all-star, which is awesome to see. But Paulo Espino seems like he's just giving up 4 runs every time he goes out against Ian Anderson, who is kind of figuring his shit out. He went 5 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run against the Cardinals last time out, and that was a good start, bouncing back after giving up 7 to your Phillies in 2 innings. So I say I don't want to put my money on Ian Anderson right now because he's just so Jekyll and Hyde, and we don't know what guy we're going to get here. And at minus 210, obviously, it's tough to bet. The over here would be interesting, over 10, but I think it's just a little too high. And I'll say this, money has gone down on the Nationals here. It's minus 200 now, plus 165 for Los Nationals. So another pass game, or I should say my first pass game for here because I moved on the Orioles. But yeah, pass game for me.
Yeah, I worry about Ian Anderson as well. I mean, obviously, you say only give 1 run, but you have 8 hits in 5 innings. So that means he's given up a lot of contact. He's just finding ways to get out of that. So I don't know how much really you can trust him to be back after that one kind of starts because he was finding a way to get out of certain situations, which is obviously a positive sign. But in the end, he's still giving up that much contact, which scares me here, especially. I know Nationals aren't a good team, but I mean, they still got hitters in Soto and Bell. So I mean, something like that, you make a couple mistake pitches, it could get at. Could go a little bit that way. That's why the over-under is so high. But no, I'm going to pass because the 10's too high. And then the Braves team total, which I was thinking about just because of how bad Washington is over 5.5, which is also too high for me. So ultimately, I'm going to pass in this game in the end.
Dom Ricci putting out a good point. The Braves and Mets play each other next. Maybe they have their eye on the next series, and maybe they come out a little flat here today. So we'll see here. Shout out to Big Show
I would
Pick
like that.
watching. Brian Watson, control your vessel as well. Shout out to you, my man, not applicable. Viper MB. We've got Red Girl in the chat as well. So shout out to you guys all for watching Jamal Martin. Let's move on to this next game. A little brisk pace we're going here, Andrew. I like it. I like a little brisk pace.
It's kind of rare for us.
Yeah, I know, right? We're usually a little bit more long-winded, but today not so much, I guess. Sandy Alcantara versus the Mets. We just talked about how the Braves going to the Mets next series, a such an important series, and I cannot wait to watch it. Those are actually, Andrew. You probably don't know this, but those are my two National League World Series favorites right now. Braves Mets. There. So
Can you trust the Mets though? I get the Braves, but
well, yeah, that's always the thing, Are the Mets gonna Mets? But if when DeGrom and Scherzer come back, well, when DeGrom comes back, it's gonna be scary. They just have to get that offense in order. But I'm on those two teams. My big thing has just been not the Dodgers, I guess. But I don't know if that's a hot take or not. Sandy Alcantara on the bump here again. I'd probably say the National League. Well, I can look it up on a site like FanDuel real quick, but I'd say probably the National League Cy Young leader right now. He's been absolutely phenomenal, and I think it's pretty tough to try to bet against him here. The Mets have also been slumping with Taijuan Walker on the bump here, who's been good. He's been good in his own right. Numbers at 7, and you can kind of understand why. That game yesterday took extras, but it got over. I'd probably lean under here, -115. But this is just another game that I didn't really have a feel on, honestly. Especially because the look ahead spots here for the Mets, maybe of a really emotional win yesterday with Keith Hernandez Day and everything. And I'm glad that Dami, I saw your message this morning about the game. Very electric game. That game was awesome. They shot themselves in the foot as well. The Marlins did. So I kind of expect them to come out a little sharper here. So I would lean towards the Marlins here as well. But I didn't feel comfortable enough making any plays here. I would lean towards the Marlins, and I think I would lean towards an under again here. Or well, I should say first time for an under, but yeah.
no, I agree. I'd go under. Team total. Marlins only hitting 245 off of Walker. Mets are hitting 203 off of Alcantara. So I think it's to me this is an under game as well. But one thing I do lean the Marlins as well, obviously outside of Sandy. I don't know if you know, like this stat always amazes me. The Marlins inside the division have 23 of their 40 wins are inside the division. Like they just know how to beat the division for whatever reason. Like
That's the reverse.
It's crazy that like they're 23-16 inside the division, and then they're so obviously that's a big portion of their wins. They've already got one game in this series. They look to even the series there, and they could have won yesterday. So they play every game close here inside the division. And I mean Walker's been good though. So to me this is under. I'd also look at the first half under. I'd say
3.5.
What was that?
3.5.
Yeah, I'd say first half under. I mean, I think if anything, you're gonna get some runs if either of these two come out of the game. Once they come out of the game, but no, I'm gonna take the under 3.5.
Yeah, I don't hate the first half under either because the bullpens do kind of worry me at times. They were used up yesterday a little bit. Shout out to Slow Jams who says my bookie has an 8 for a total. If I had an 8, I'd definitely bet the under there. Control Your Vessel says under looks good. I wish I had a 6.5. And by the way, Dom Ricci saying the Mets are the best over team, full game over in the NL, 59%. And Mets average 5 runs at home since mid-May. So always keep that in mind. Shout out to my guy, Dami Gunn there. Let's move on. Next game here on our slate here. And we're moving into a game that I'm pretty interested in, actually, Andrew. It's tough to bet the Rays here at a minus. Well, actually, the line is dropped. Wow. I was going to say minus 150, but maybe I didn't update the odds. It's minus 138 for Shane Boz and for the Rays here against the Reds, plus 115 for Nick Lodolo. But I wanted to take the Rays here. They lose the first 2 games. The balk-off, as we all remember, a lot of people were confused on that one. That guy, the pitcher moving his hand or his glove while his foot was on the rubber was a tough look for him. And then Nick Lodolo, we remember his first start back. We remember it mainly because Scherzer was on the other side, and we thought, well, Scherzer's going to probably dominate here and then Nick Lodolo will struggle because he was also coming off the IL that day as well. But he went 4 2/3, only 3 hits, no run, 8 Ks, 3 walks. So a very impressive start. But truthfully, like I've mentioned plenty of the times on this show, if you come back from the IL and have a great start to start off, I will fade you the next time you pitch, or I will do the opposite. And if I don't think you're a good enough pitcher, I'll fade you in your first start back. I was going to do with Marcus Stroman yesterday, but it was obviously too juiced with the Dodgers, and he pitched really well. So now next time when he comes back up, I will probably be fading him then too, to see how he bounces back after that and see if he can get back in the rhythms and everything. But I wanted to take the Rays here in the short of it. I might take him first five, -0.5 here, but it's been Shane Boz's world. We're just living in it. He's been quietly dominating. I said last time against Toronto, at Toronto too, that if he had a really good start here, then it's Bozomania for me. I'll be all over Boz, and he had a great start: 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks, 2 walks there. Though he got the hits, I mean, he's still dominating. And by the way, I looked up the odds. Sandy Alcantara is a +110 for the Cy Young. Next closest person is Corbin Burns at +550. That's fucking crazy. But yeah, so short of it, I think I'm going to move on Rays first five -0.5 at +105 for me on Bovada. What about you, Andrew? Do you have anything on this one?
Yeah, I like the Rays -1.5 for the game, +118. I mean, I have a hard time believing they're going to go out and get swept here in Cincinnati. They're just too good of a team. Like you said, Baz has been phenomenal all season. So I think he's going to come out. His ERA is a little higher on the road, but it's still pretty good. At 3.7 there. So I think he'll keep them in the game throughout, and eventually they'll get the win. Like you mentioned, they lost on a weird play Friday night. They're bound to turn around here.
And they get walked off yesterday too. So I mean,
Yeah,
two back-to-back walk-offs. So
yeah, so I mean, they're obviously feeling that they got to turn around at some point here. And again, I mean, to get swept by a team that's 31-54, I have a hard time believing it there. So I like the Rays to come out strong today and honestly jump out early.
No, I agree, and they're a tough team because the hitting is not always there, and I'll double check this, but Wander Franco now on the IL, I believe as well here. I think he had a hamate issue. I believe I read it was. I was kind of half asleep when I read it, but we'll pull up the lineups here from RotoWire, and of course, like I said, no Wander is Yandy Diaz, Harold Ramirez, Taylor Walls, Randy Arozarena, Paredes, Josh Lowe, Yu Chang now on the Tampa Bay Rays. Yu Chang, no, that's not Yu Chang. I don't remember now. Sorry, whatever. We'll move on because I'm getting my second baseman mixed up here. Nasty,
No,
like in
it
the
is.
5 under. What's up, Andrew? What did you say?
It's you, Chang.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, okay, cool. So Yu Chang, this was the guy. I was like, Yu Chang, I'm pretty sure I was the Pirates second baseman on the other day. And I was like, no way. And I just looked on him and he just said, yeah, he got claimed off waivers from the Pirates. So Yu Chang now on the Rays. He sucked on the Pirates, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I'm gonna take my Rays first five +1.5 here. Overtime liking Lodolo over 5.5 Ks. And I'll say this: Tampa Bay against lefties. This last 3 weeks, they're 11th, 113 weighted runs created plus, while the Reds dead last against righties, 30th, 70 weighted runs created plus. So Tampa Bay run line, Tampa Bay first half as well. I don't hate either first five. I'm starting to say first half instead of first five now. The books are starting to get in my head, guys. Let's move on to that next game there. Let's talk about Cleveland, Kansas City, a blowout yesterday for the Royals. Jonathan Heasley did not show up at all. Did not even consider showing up. But now we've got Zach Plesac versus Zach Greinke here. Ooh, 2 Zachs. Just realizing that. A K
Spelled
and
different though. Yeah, spelled different.
Andrew, where do your sensibilities go? Are you an H guy or are you a K guy?
Well, my brother has an H, so I gotta go H. Got to back my brother.
Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go against him, and I'm definitely a K Zach guy. Zach, I don't know. It's just my Hispanic spell everything as it sounds. I don't hear an H at the end of Zach. So, but whatever, it's fine.
What about no H or K? You can just do ZAC.
Nah,
That's another spelling.
Let's not. Those guys are weird. I hope we don't have any ZACs in the chat right now. But we've got Greinke versus Plesac here, and I like both pitchers. Truthfully, the Royals have been okay against righties this last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 98 weighted runs created plus, that's 18th. But the Guardians have really turned it on. Did yesterday boost their stats a little bit, maybe? But they're right now they're seventh, 119 weighted runs created plus against righties. I'd lean towards the Guardians here as well. I don't want to. The only reason why I have not moved on this, I guess, is fading Greinke at home is a dangerous proposition. He pitches well at Kauffman. The offense isn't always there at Kauffman either. But I do like the Guardians today in some form or fashion.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pass game for me because I can't figure out Cleveland. I mean, right when you think they're starting to play well, they're turning the season around. They go out and get swept by Detroit, fall back in the standings, and then they get a blowout win yesterday. I mean, it's just this team's too weird. Like you said, Greinke throws well at home. Plesac's been good before. I mean, his record obviously doesn't show this year, but he's got a low ERA. I mean, it's just maybe I look for the first 5 under, or even the game under. I mean, 9 seems a little high for these two guys going, but overall, I'm going to pass.
Minus 122 now, plus 102 for the Royals. So a little bit of movement. But ultimately, I think this game's a little bit too conflicting to bet on for me. Red Girl's leaning Kansas City. Control your vessel, the Guardians yesterday, and Eric Jones likes the over here, Cleveland over here, I should say. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not going to move on this game. We'll move on and pass from it. Wow, I cannot believe that we're doing such a good job with our pace right now, Andrew. This is incredible. My goodness. Detroit Tigers, Chicago White Sox. Michael Kopech, really disappointing last couple of outings for him, especially if you backed him in the White Sox. He gave up eight hits, 6 earned runs against the Minnesota Twins on 4 home runs. I faded him then, and that was a good look by me then. At the Angels before that, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 6 Ks, 2 walks there. Drew Hutchinson is not someone I want to put my money on, obviously. It's been kind of funny watching the Tigers beat the White Sox in the series, but the White Sox came back, smacked them in the mouth yesterday, and I kind of have that same feeling today. I feel like this might be another Chicago White Sox smack them in the mouth moment. Tim Anderson also got some hits yesterday too, so maybe he's back to hitting. Maybe him being the all-star starter at shortstop made him realize, hey, maybe I should try again. I don't know. But ultimately, this was another pass game for me. But I think I would, if I had to take anything, it would be like a White Sox run line. Minus 1.5 is at plus 105. I don't hate that. But the White Sox have just been so putrid this year that I don't want to bet on them.
That's fair. I'm going to go with the White Sox over 4.5. Hutchinson struggles. His ERA on the road this year is a high 4. I think White Sox will get the job done today. And I'm going to take the over 4.5. I think 5 is a good number for him.
I do like that. I will admit 4.5 is a good number.
It's minus 114, so a little high, but
I still like it. My 4.5 is good. By the way, Jamal Martin saying both teams have 5 or more hitters that have had 2 hits, 2 or more, or have had more than 2 hits against the pitcher, plus the wind blowing out on the over 9. Jamal, was on the last game, or is it this game? I'm going to pull up Ballpark Pal right now because that is a good call out. Should be looking at the weather. As always, we do have some slight wind blowing out in Kauffman Stadium, 4 miles an hour out. And I'll look at the weather right now and guarantee you Rate Field. We've got, according to Ballpark Pal, it's kind of blowing in from left to right, 7 mile an hour. A nice day, 76, but plus 13% more likelihood for home runs there. So we shall see there. By the way, Ron Crawford, Minnesota Twins, is his spreadsheet play of the day. Shout out to Ron Crawford. Fireside, I kind of am blind betting the Orioles right now. I'm riding the hot hand with their wins. I just think the Angels also are kind of a West Coast team on an East Coast trip that are kind of in a vortex and want to get back to the East Coast or the West Coast. That was mentioned earlier as well. So I am taking the Orioles today. Yeah, I'm on the money line, minus 110. All right. So shout out to Ron. I appreciate you for always dropping your insight here. You said under here, or no, you had the White Sox team total over 4.5, minus 115 there. So shout out to you, Andrew. I like that look. I like that look a lot. And they're 12th against righties right now, 110 weighted runs created plus last 3 weeks. So let's move on to this next game. Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Milwaukee Brewers. I fucked the Pirates bet yesterday. I should have just taken their team total, and I was a little annoyed, but the good day overall, it kept my anger down. Jose Quintana versus Eric Lauer here. A good matchup, and I've been realizing or tending to notice that I kind of want to bet the Pirates against righties more than lefties. Let's see if I can. I'll pull up their team total again here because I always, try to look at the lines or look at the team totals and such live on air to get my genuine reaction, and hopefully it makes me a little bit of a better capper in that instance too. Minus 120 for the 3, plus 110 for the 3.5. I mean, you guys know me. You guys know where I'd lean here. It would be Pirates for me. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 9 Ks, 2 walks, a home run given up by Eric Lauer last time out for him versus the Chicago Cubs. What do you have on this one, Andrew?
I don't know. I'm torn because Jose Quintana's been pitching phenomenal this year. I mean, big trade target for a lot of teams. I mean, it looks like an under type game. I mean, 8. We've got 2 guys pitching well. I feel like whenever I pick the Brewers to score some runs, they never do. I feel like they've hurt me in the past when I've been on shows when I back them up. And Milwaukee's another weird team. Like they've had a shot here to kind of run away with the division a little bit, and they've kind of just played 500 ball, and it screams they're giving Pittsburgh a chance. And obviously, this is the rubber match between the 2 teams, so I kind of go back and forth. I will say I like. I mean, the 3 is obviously a low number, so yeah. I mean, I think that's a good spot for Pittsburgh there. Because I mean, even if you stay with the over 3 and you just push, I mean that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, and I do like not applicable saying Pittsburgh over 7.5. I think I've got an 8. Let me double check here. No, it's a 7.5. Excuse me. I've got a 7.5 at minus 110.
Yeah.
So I don't hate that. I don't hate that either. If you think Pittsburgh's going to score some runs here, I think this game will end up being an over. Because I do think Quintana is pitching a little over his head, especially last time out against the Yankees. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, no walks. He's been doing well all year, but I really truly think that, like, Andrew, if your Phillies picked up Jose Quintana, he'd immediately start sucking. Immediately.
He honestly feels like, I mean, just because you brought up the Phillies. I don't know if you remember last year. Kyle Gibson's having like that all-star season. We trade for Kyle Gibson, and his season just took a complete turn. I feel like, yeah, I know, I agree. I feel like that kind of thing.
You don't
And
like Kyle Gibson? Not a Kyle Gibson guy anymore?
No, I like Gibson overall. I'm just saying, like, his numbers when he got traded took a complete turn.
Yeah,
But
it
no,
really
like,
does feel like that.
and that's my question. Isn't even like any contender. If any contender picks up Jose Quintana, is anyone like jumping for joy, screaming like some of the aces we've seen get moved in the past?
Yeah, exactly. I don't really. I really just have my doubts about Jose Quintana every time, and that's why I usually take Pirates team totals and I don't back their pitching. Bednar pitched last night too, or yesterday, so I don't know, man, and I think it's kind of dicey. Lauer has not faced the Pirates recently. His second start of the year was against the Pirates, and he dominated. I think he went. Let me double check because he only gave up 1 earned run, but I forgot how many innings he went. 6, yeah, 6 innings of 1 earned run. I have to pass here. I like the over. I like the over for sure, but I just would rather just pass and move on. I'm trying to be more selective here. I think it's better to be more selective, and it's obviously been working for me yesterday. I will say this: Craig Wood put in a good stat here. Brewers 27th versus lefties in the past 5 weeks at home, and guess what? So right there, the Pirates apparently. I don't know. Maybe Craig Wood messed that up, but I think they're probably tied for 27th versus lefties in the last 5 weeks. Not just really. I don't know. I just have my doubts, and every time the Pirates score over 3 or 4 runs, 5 runs, it makes me mad that I'm not on them. But I'll stay off this one, and I think it'll be interesting for sure. That's what, and then exactly what I was about to say. Control your vessel. There are better games than this on the card. So pass for me. Let's move on to this next game, a more interesting game for someone that is on our panel right here. We've got Phillies versus the Cardinals here, and Andrew, I'll let you cook here. Who the fuck is Nick Nelson, Andrew?
Well, he's a reliever, so they're going with the opener today.
Okay.
We're down 2 starters right now. Ranger Suarez and Zach Eflin on the IL. It was
Okay.
originally supposed to be Christopher Sanchez, so I'm not wondering if he got hurt or something. They called him up from the minors and pitched well on Tuesday against Washington. So I don't know. That was a surprise to me this morning. I think it was a switch there because it was Christopher Sanchez all week. But no, Nick Nelson, he's a right-handed pitcher. He'll give you, I mean, out of the bullpen, he's pitched decent. I mean, here and there, he's an innings eater, so he'll probably give you 2 innings, and then you're going to go a full bullpen game, which will be fun against guys like Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. So this could be a high-scoring game. But here's the thing: the Phillies bullpen's been one of the best in the last few weeks. That's obviously been the late inning guys. Statistically, the Phillies have the best bullpen ERA-wise since, I think, June 17th or something like that. So, but what scares me is if he only gives you 2 innings, you're going through the entire bullpen. It's not just
that's the thing. He's only going to give you 2 innings at the most here.
Yeah, and here's the thing: this series has had no offense so far. The Phillies won Friday night 2-0, and they won yesterday 1-0. So that's another way to look at it. Both offenses are struggling big time.
Yeah, 22nd are the Phillies against righties, 92 weighted runs created plus, and the Cardinals are right there, 26. They have 83 weighted runs created plus in the last 3 weeks.
I mean, when you're missing Bryce Harper, your numbers will go down a little bit.
That's what they say. But you've got the legendary, the AKA Babe Ruth, AKA Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
He's good for home run, right?
Yeah, I love him. And he really is like slow start, like he's so cold, and then 3 weeks of just like the greatest hitter of all time, and then 2 more weeks of nothing really.
I remember when we signed him, you're like, you're gonna like this guy. That's all you said. You're gonna like this guy.
Do you in fact like him?
I do. I'm a big fan.
There you go. It is very fun watching him hit home runs at the leadoff spot. I'll admit it. It's very fun.
He is the weirdest leadoff hitter, though, for sure. Like the fact that he's leading off.
Is he leadoff for you guys too?
Yes, he's bad leadoff.
Good. Yeah, I mean, the Nationals, and shout out to Davey Martinez, man. He was the guy that really he did it first, I believe, and he put Schwarber there, and that was the kind of the catalyst that I don't know what he needed, or he saw more fastballs hitting leadoff. But that started off the 1 month where he hit like he hit like 20 home runs in like a 30-game stretch. It was crazy. He just, for some reason, pitchers tend to throw more fastballs to him, I guess, and he just hits dingers. He hits dingers. Damon Santori, why wouldn't he lead off? Just because your typical leadoffs are your small, skinny, fast guys, really, like Jarren Duran. That's really why. The only reason why.
Yeah, I just remember. I mean, growing up, I just remember you're watching Juan Pierre. You got Jimmy Rollins. You get all the like you said, the quick guys. Now the game's completely changing. Like just from when we were growing up. It's funny.
By the way, I never saw Saturated. I never saw Schwarber lead off for the Cubs. I feel like Schwarber, in my head, Schwarber only played for the Cubs like 3 years, and one of those years he was hurt with the ACL for the World Series year. But yeah, no, I did not. So there you go. If Joe Madden did it, then Joe Madden originated it, just like he originated the shift. So, but I would say Davey Martinez. I don't know what it is, but I don't know what he said to Kyle Schwarber, because that 1 month he took off, and then from there it's just been like, But yeah. We'll see. Let's move on to our next game here. We've got Minnesota versus the Texas Rangers. And Andrew, you were at this game yesterday, and you've got boots on the ground reporting. It was a fun game yesterday.
A lot of home runs yesterday.
A lot of home runs yesterday. What do you have? Just tell me, what are your opinions on these teams after seeing them yesterday?
Pitching is definitely a struggle. A lot of fun offensive names here. I know he's a lefty, but I was surprised Luis Ariza he didn't play yesterday. Just coming off a day off. He hits a pitch hit single though late in the game because all that guy does is hit.
Venezuelan Luis Ariza, great.
But no, I'm gonna take I'm gonna stick to the way yesterday was. I think this is gonna be an over game here, 8.5. Dan Dunning's been throwing well, but I mean he still struggles at times. And I think overall this game Twins are coming off 2 tough losses. I don't know if you saw how much you paid attention to Friday's game too, but they jumped out early. I think it was 3-0. Then they gave up 6 runs in the 5th inning, and they go on to lose that game 6-5. So I think it's gonna this the way this series is going in that stadium down there in Arlington is going to continue the offensive trend here, and I'm gonna take the over in this game. A lot of good bats in these lineups.
So let's talk about Dane Dunning first. Home run splits for Dane. Home ERA of a 2.83. Pretty surprising. He's still got a good one. Road ERA of 45 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's got a 5.52 on the road. So he's pretty comfortable here in the Ranger Stadium versus Dylan Bundy. And we all know Dylan Bundy. We all know Dylan Bundy. And we all know his alter egos on this program. Andrew, you probably don't know Dylan Bundy's alter egos. Of course, we've got Ted. We've got Ted Bundy, of course. This one you probably don't know. Do you know who this person is?
I cannot tell you.
That is Al Bundy. See, this is where we get made fun of by all the people that are older than us in the chat right now. That is Al Bundy. Shout out to our good friend Al. What about this one, Andrew? You know who this one is?
No.
That is our good friend King Kong Bundy of WWE, or I should say WWF wrestling fame. And of course, let's never forget our beloved Kelly Bundy. Kelly Bundy as well. She also makes an appearance. Shout out to Kelly Bundy. Yeah, Dylan has a lot of faces, and he's been pitching pretty well. I backed him last time out against the Chicago White Sox. He went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 6 Ks, 1 walk. That 1 run came off a home run. At the Cleveland Guardians before then, he gave up 3 runs, only 2 of them earned. He's been kind of on a heater recently, but I didn't want to move on this game either. I had to agree with you guys. Now that we're going through this card right now, it is a shitty card today. Not much that I've liked here so far, unfortunately. But we ride on. We make bets. We try to figure it out, and we do it together here. We're cashing it together.
But Bundy's road ERA is 5.89 though. Like I get he did throw well last time, like you said, but he struggles on the road.
So there you go. There's another good indication that this game might be an over game here. Maybe some hitter props. Definitely don't hate total bases as well. But you guys know me. I cannot get into the price brackets or what all the markets and all the props and such. So true pass game here for me. Next game on our slate here, the game that made me a lot of quid yesterday, Oakland A's versus the Houston Astros here. Just hilarious game to me. I just cannot believe that the A's scored the go-ahead and tying runs off wild pitches from Framber Valdez. And then the Oakland bullpen shuts it down. Like we kind of said yesterday, it's a sleepy ballpark over there. The Astros bats could fall asleep, and that's what they did. Jake Odorizzi is not someone that inspires confidence. I had a friend that's a Royals fan. You guys all know him as Matthew. He joins us on the show quite frequently, but he told me the other day when Jake Odorizzi was going against the Royals, he's freaking out because the Royals were actually scoring runs, and you guys know that doesn't happen very often. But the whole time apparently on the broadcast, they said they were like, about 75 pitches. And then he ended up going 90 pitches. So I was like, oh, okay. So that surprised everyone on the broadcast. I do think that the Astros bats will come back here after getting kind of embarrassed yesterday. I don't believe in Cole Irvin, and their Houston's against lefties. Their third last 3 weeks, 150 weighted runs created plus. So it's pretty tough. By the way, did we have anything? Cirque and Maz asking for Philadelphia, St. Louis picks real quick. Did you have anything, Andrew? I didn't.
I had nothing official, but I don't hate either team total at 4.
Okay, so
just because I mean they're bound to get some runs eventually, but the way both of them have been struggling, I think both Palante, he's more of a bullpen guy too, isn't he?
Well, he's been coming.
They kind of stretched him a lot, but like the start,
yeah.
So you don't really know how deep he's going to go either. So I don't know. I don't hate either team totals at 4.
Yeah, I would probably lead towards an over as well, Sirkin. But thank you for watching, and no problem for asking. Damon Santori, by the way, did anyone hear that these guys all were in the same starting rotation? Basically, you're saying AJ Griffin, Stephen Brault, Joe Musgrove. Shout out to my man Braulty. He's got a great tattoo, Stephen Brault, tattoo that I would like to replicate, or basically on his forearm. So shout out to him. It's basically like scales People, when they look at me and see that I'm tattooless, and then I tell people, yeah, I kind of want a full forearm sleeve from here down. But then it surprises people. But I'll say this: Don Mack's comment here is a good one. Irvin shut down the Astros last time they saw him in Oakland. Double revenge angle for Houston here. Um, and the gas station report saying Irvin's ERA at home a 1.49. Yeah, I don't want to take Oakland here again. I didn't want to take Oakland yesterday, and it cashed for me.
But you
So,
did.
so there you go. Yeah. Oh, by the way, and Damon Santori says, "I'll pay it for you if you get on your cheek. My ass cheek or this cheek? Ass cheek, we'll have a conversation, Santori. Face cheek, maybe not, maybe not. Um, yeah, I think that this is just an Astros spot here. The worry, of course, is Irvin with his home ERA and facing them last time, dominating them. And Jake Odorizzi's awful. But I'm totally off of this game. I didn't even want to move on it, and I'll just thank the Oakland A's for making me that money yesterday for
They don't
sure.
get too greedy, right?
Yeah. Did you have any questions or any predictions or any plays on this one?
I don't. I don't know. I get he's throwing well at home, but I don't. I'm gonna pass, but I don't hate the over 8 between both teams.
But Andrew, could
But
you imagine? Could you? I'm going to pull up
here's
Stephen Bolt's tattoo real quick, but go ahead. Sorry.
I would say the other crazy thing here. I mean, I get the A's. Obviously, they've struggled this year, but in his last 8 starts, not necessarily his decision, just the Oakland and Cole Irvin starts, they're 1-7. I mean, and what's got to be frustrating for him? You take his last start at home against Toronto. He goes 8 innings, gives up 1 run, and they lose 5-1.
That's so tough. Oh my goodness. I feel so bad for those pitchers that like dominate and then just nothing. Well, obviously the number one guy is Ohtani and Trout, but Andrew, we're talking tattoos like we were mentioning. Damon Santori offering to get this tattoo. He said either my face or my ass. So maybe this would look good on my cheeks, Andrew. What do you think? What do you think? I really like. I'm gonna get a variation of that on my forearm. So just remember, if you make fun of this, you're making fun of me too. So definitely do that. But yeah, what do you think, Andrew? This on my butt cheek?
I go forearm.
Well, yeah, I mean I would love to. I'm going to, but Damon Santori only said cheek, so butt cheek or face cheek. I got to go butt cheek, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, between those two, yeah,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah. You don't put that on the face.
It would be interesting. I would look more reptilian, and I think
That is true.
that would lean towards the reptile people. Maybe if I do that, the reptile people will look on me more favorably, and maybe they'll let me in. I don't know. I don't know. Let's move on to this next game here. We've got the Chicago Cubs versus the Dodgers here, and we've only got 5 more games here on the slate. And actually, we're making good time. 44 minutes, 5 games left. We're moving, shaking, doing our thing, capping the whole card. Thanks everyone for watching. As always, hit a like button while you're here. It helps us out. And I'll say this: if you got plays or anything, and you're watching the replay after the fact, put it in the comment of the video because that helps me find the plays easier. I get a lovely notification. I'll respond to you, letting you know what I think or if I like the play and all that stuff. And it always helps us out on the channel. So like, comment, and thanks so much for watching as always. But let's talk about Smiley Urias here. Drew Smiley officially going here, coming back from his oblique injury. And truthfully, I didn't have the heart to fade Marcus Stroman last night. I would have if it was a cheaper price and it would have killed me. So I kind of feel the same way here. He only threw one rehab start. It didn't seem to affect Stroman that much, obviously. So I'm pumping the brakes here, and obviously the minus 260. It makes it very difficult to even try to bet the Dodgers in any form or fashion here. Julio, I love Julio Urias. He's in my top 5 favorite lefties as well. I've had to fade him at several points in this year, unfortunately for him, and it's actually worked pretty well. He's 7-6, but he's got a 2.57 ERA, so it's not like he's been pitching poorly. But 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run against the Rockies, 7 Ks, 1 walk at home, and then he faced them again. Before then, he went back to back, so that was his second start. his first start against him went 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. So I like the Dodgers here, but it's just kind of unbettable here, unfortunately, for me at least.
Would you like the Dodgers at over under 5 runs?
I kind of would. I mean, I guess,
Minus 105.
but the Dodgers offense has just been, so shaky at times. They've got
So
names, but like I'll say here, 10th are the Dodgers, excuse me, against lefties, 115 weighted runs created plus. Same the Cubs are 22nd, 88 weighted runs created plus, but just ultimately I just I couldn't get behind anything too confident, unfortunately.
I mean, you look at the last 4 wins: two runs, 5 runs, 4 runs, 4 runs. So it's been all pitching here lately. But I mean, again, I don't know. Drew Smiley off the IL. That's why I was thinking about that over.
Yeah, this is a
Because who
pass.
knows how? I always worry about how deep players go too when it's the first start off the IL. And I mean,
Same.
Cubs bullpen comes in. I feel like it's another plus for the Dodgers.
I
In terms of
agree.
their own.
Gas station report. I'm not on Pittsburgh today. Not on Pittsburgh today. Yeah, it's a tough game. Like I said, this slate sucks. This slate sucks ass. I have not turned on the Orioles game yet, but I do have Orioles money line, and that game should have started already. So we shouldn't be.
0-0.
Yeah, it should have just barely started. So that's the only play. Well, I've got two plays, that and the Rays first five. But for those people that are watching, it is a shitty card. Only two plays so far. We're almost done with it. One in play right now, so it might be just one play day. Who knows? I would love to have a bunch of plays today, especially after a really really good day, and continue this heater. But if I don't like it, I can't move on. I just can't do it. Not making plays.
That's been the last couple times I've been on here. It's been tough cards. Like the last 2 times, I think we had to combine like 5 plays.
Hey, and this is kind of the time, man. We've got a little under a week, I think a week exactly, actually now, until the end the All-Star break. So this is the time where I said it earlier. Just maybe we'll pump the brakes, watch teams, be careful. And I will say this, and Christopher Camentini saying Sundays are always tough. You're right, because it's the getaway days and stuff like that. So I agree with you. Abel A, by the way, has got no run in the first inning. Orioles Angels. So let us know how that goes, Abel. Let us know how that goes, because I'm not watching, because I'm trying to focus here first. Let's go Rockies Diamondbacks next here. Bum fight that I truly would not want to bet at any odds, no matter what. Truly. The Rockies against lefties. This is the most surprising stat for me. Rockies against lefties in the last 3 weeks are ninth, 120 weighted runs created plus, especially after I said that Urias kind of dominated them. Let me go back. Urias 1 run and then 3 runs. I consider those both good starts, and they're still ninth against lefties, 120s. Tyler Gilbert's not a lefty that really, obviously inspires confidence either. 3 2/3 against the Giants, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 Ks, 1 walk. Not anything, too great. And then Cincinnati only goes 1 1/3, 5 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned. And Herman Marquez is also not a guy I'm looking to back either. He gives up runs like it's his job. So I truly be an over spot here for over or pass for me, and a Rockies team total or pass for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. If anything, bit over. The one thing would be, I mean, Gilbert, as high as 0 is on the season, at home it's only a 2.7, so he's a lot better at home. But no, overall, I'd pass. I mean, this game. I mean, it's a pick 'em for a reason.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that everyone's reactions to like this slate is truly really bad. Like it is, and it's not getting better, guys. It's truly not. There's 3 games left, and I guess these are technically the 3 best games. I mean, we've got Giants,
That's true.
Padres. Go ahead.
So that's true. I mean, the 3 left are probably the three best of the day.
Yeah. So Giants Padres here is interesting. We had a great game last night with Rodon going the whole way. Yu Darvish kind of doesn't outdo him, still pitches really well, 1-1 for the whole game. Now we've got Gore, Alex Wood, battle of two lefties here. And truly, I don't think I can cap Mackenzie Gore games non-biasedly anymore. Every time he goes out, I hope he gets crushed for 8 runs. And that's just because I want O'Neal Cruz to win NL Rookie of the Year. And Oneil Cruz is not really playing too great in his own right, so he needs to pick it up his own self. But he got a double and some RBIs yesterday. But I think coming off that complete game performance, I just would rather have the Padres here at home. Minus 120 is not my favorite price, obviously. Alex Wood's not my favorite pitcher, but his last appearance was at Arizona, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. And then for McKenzie, he went at the Dodgers, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 4 walks. So it's a super tough game for me, honestly. I think both of these pitchers are mediocre, but good in these spots. If it was a
Yeah.
better team against lefties, maybe I'd try to fade them here. But I had to pass here. The over 7.5 is not something I would play either because Giants against lefties are 19th right now in the last 3 weeks, 91 weighted runs created plus. We know what they do against lefties. They're not very good. And Padres against lefties are 24th right now, 86 weighted runs created plus. So it's just stay off games here. The offenses aren't good enough for me to want to back them and be confident enough to back them, unfortunately.
Especially in San Diego. Tough place to hit.
Yes, it is. And Cheshire Cat, I'm on full game Baltimore, just to let you know. But go ahead, Andrew. Sorry.
No, I mean, I think I would lean towards San Diego here, though. Alex Wood struggled a lot. San Francisco as a whole is struggling big time right now. They finally broke that losing streak. But no, I mean, I trust San Diego a lot more here at home. With Gore, he's been a lot better than Wood this year, too. And Wood, even with the 4.83, even with the high ERA on the road, too, he's even worse. He's got a 5.1 ERA. So, if anything, to me, this game's leans San Diego.
Yeah, same here. Derek Petta asking if I like Yankees and Dodgers to win today. I do not like the Yankees to win today. And hello, Mills. Nice to see you. I just seeing your comment here. I'm not ignoring it. I just saw your comment. But I do ignore you every time you put something about the Yankees. I will say that, and I will continue to ignore you every time you put something about the Yankees. Let's move on to this next game here. We've got Blue Jays versus Seattle Mariners here. Logan Gilbert versus who knows against the Blue Jays. I'd love to know. This is the game from the chat. I need to know who's pitching for the Blue Jays today. I do not know who's pitching today, and it was obviously Manoah yesterday. So I thought it was going to be Barrios. I thought it was Barrios, Manoah and Barrios in their rotation. And see if Real Deal Prime's saying it's a bullpen day, and that's kind of what I thought. If they're not, Max Castillo, what are we doing? How are we not going to take the Mariners here again? The Blue Jays bullpen has just been so bad. Just like why we and now we're gonna get a whole game with them and on Bovada is listing again. The Bovada has done this for this series because the Blue Jays have been kind of slacking on their pitching, naming their pitchers because the bullpen days. Bovada's listing the game without pitchers. And they give a minus 120 for the Seattle Mariners. I'm going to take that 100% of the time. Let me see and find it again here. Yeah, it's at minus 120. I think if I'm going to take anything here, I guess it's going to be first 5 full game with the Seattle Mariners here again. It's obviously concerning the fucking offense for the Jays. But I've said it frequently, I'm going to at least the last 2 days now, the last 3 days, basically, I'm going to keep fading the Blue Jays on this West Coast road trip. It's truly just them not being, I don't know if you felt this before, Andrew, you're an East Coast fan. When the Phillies go out on the West Coast and if they start slumping, it's not, and they're going to stay in that slump until they come in back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and
that's when you're like dying to get back at home. Like even if it's a road series on the East Coast, you just want to get back to the East Coast. Go back to that time zone you're comfortable with. Go back to all that, and that does definitely get in their head.
That's what I've been saying. I like the Mariners here today. It's been 2 close games. It's been two really close games, and I've had to sweat both of them out. And I'm not saying it's not like the Blue Jays are a horrible team and all this stuff, but I'll say this: they got to pick their shit up together. They have to turn it around here. They have to make additions on their bullpen, and like not applicable is saying here. I've seen this quite frequently. It's Charlie Montoya's ass is on the line here. I'll look up right now who. Let me see. I want to see who they're playing next.
Phillies.
The Phillies at the Phillies.
No, we're Phillies go. Well, I don't know if they play Monday, but Phillies are going to Toronto Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh boy. So yeah, they've got to have an off day. They absolutely have to have an off day.
But the Phillies play St. Louis tomorrow and then travel. So like I don't know. I don't know what the Blue Jays schedule is.
Yeah, so they are off tomorrow, and Los Blue Jays, like you said, they're going back. So this is the last game too. Man, yeah.
So would you go as far? Would you go as far as the run line? -1.5 plus 168.
No, I don't think I would get that greedy, just because, like I said, the last two games have been close.
Yeah.
So and that's worrisome.
But,
Big shout out to Robbie Ray. Oh my gosh, he put his dick on the table yesterday. He got out of a bases loaded jam with no outs. That was really, really impressive. I thought I was kind of screwed there, but shout out to Robbie Ray, who seems like he's back to Cy Young being really good again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I like you said, Toronto's bullpen's been struggling. They've been struggling as a whole. To me, especially with the bullpen game, this might get out of hand fast.
Okay, so I'm officially on Mariners money line -120. Unfortunately, for me on Bovada, I cannot bet the first fives yet because they said no pitchers announced. But I am officially going on that Seattle money line -120, and I'm going to move on that first five -0.5 or whatever it is. Maybe it's full first five money line, but I need the line. So I'll tweet that out as well. So just keep an eye on my Twitter at Jose Bouquett, and we'll see that. And Control Your Vessel, by the way, asking a good question. Is he your next axe victim? You want to predict the date. Andrew, I think I told you this. I correctly predicted Joe Girardi was going to be fired. Those early. I correctly actually I predicted that Joe Girardi was going to be fired, but I predicted Joe Madden was going to get fired on like the July, and then that same day, when I was talking about it, he got fired. It was some sort of that. The point is, I predicted two managers to get fired, very in quick succession. Is Charlie going to be the next one? Andrew, I want to hear your opinion first. Let me think about it real quick.
I don't think so.
You don't think he's going to get fired at all?
Like during the season?
Yeah.
I don't think so during the season. I think they'll wait till after. Their pitching is just not good enough.
And
I mean, like who on that staff are you sitting there saying, okay, like this is a win, like this is your stopper, this is your losing streak?
It was supposed to be Manoah yesterday.
I agree. They got a couple supposed to be's, but they just haven't been living up to it.
And Manoah pitched well yesterday. I mean, we can't really talk shit about Manoah. I mean, he did. I think he was the one that gave up the home run to Santana. But 2 runs, you expected them to win. But that offense not coming through. It's kind of like the worst case scenario for them. Really, it's kind of like the offense finally starts hitting, the bullpen blows the lead. The bullpen starts pitching really well. The offense doesn't show up.
My point with him, though, like coming into the year, you were not sitting there like Manoah's going to be the guy. Like he's kind of.
I mean, I thought Manoah was going to be really, really. I thought Gausman was going to be their stopper, dude. But
yeah, I'm saying he's kind of turned into that guy throughout the season. Like, I mean, I think it.
So
you think he gets fired during the season? You think he gets fired during the season?
I mean, honestly, I really don't. I think I might agree with you. I was just playing the advocate there, I guess. At least. I don't know. Here's the thing. I think he'll get fired if this continues, but I don't think this is going to continue. I don't think they'll fire him before the All-Star break, for example.
Oh, no, I'd be shocked if he's gone by the All-Star break.
Yeah, you got a week left. I don't think they do that. And I think, and like Jimmy says, everyone seems to love the dude. I don't know why. He seems like a really personal guy. So I think they'll write it out. Truthfully.
Here's my thing. I get 2019, they obviously struggled. 2020, the COVID season, they made the turn. I mean, last year, you got to remember, they won 91 games. I mean, it's not like they've been terrible for the last 5 seasons.
And
and like they're still above
yeah,
500. They're still above 500, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help the division they're in. Like they won 91 games last year, and what they came in fourth, right?
yeah.
So
It's a really tough choice because we saw Girardi get fired, obviously, and your Phillies turned it on, Andrew. But that's not going to happen all the time. It didn't happen for the Angels,
I say,
obviously.
look at the Angels.
Yeah, and baseball firings, though those two happen, in season firings really don't happen all that often.
No, well, and here's my thing too. Again, I get it. Obviously, they're not playing as well as they're supposed to be, but if you take their 45 wins and you take them out of the American League East, they're sitting 2 games out in the AL Central. I mean, yeah, they're 10 back of the AL in the AL West with the Astros, but they're sitting in second place, not fourth place. So like, it doesn't help. The division they're in makes it look a lot worse too. Is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and there's still the wild card hunt.
Yeah, the wild card
The
is
division's gone.
still there for the taking.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the division's gone. Everyone knows that in the AL East. It's really all about the wild card spot. And like Control Your Vessel saying, if this continues, then they might not really have a choice. But I don't think this is going to continue, which is really the long and the short of it. And I'll say this: something that just shook my core. It just made me. I think I might have just shit my pants just a little bit, Andrew, just a little bit. Christopher Comencini said Gausman's out, so that makes me feel better. But Brian Watson saying CBS Sports had Gausman. So I was like, I really hope they're not going to fuck with us like that. But I already put the bet in and it's locked because it's one of those, like, the pitchers aren't listed. So whatever your bet's going to be, whatever the pitchers are going to be, your bets are going to stay in. So yeah, first 5 will be my play again. Like I said, once the line comes out. So it's going to be interesting, man. I'm fascinated to see what happens to Montoya. Officially, I don't think he gets fired. I think they ride it out with him too, just as I've been saying with La Russa. And he was a horrible, horrible, horrible hire, especially when they could have had Alex Cora. They could have had Alex Cora if the Red Sox if the Red Sox were stupid and didn't try to go get Alex Cora again, and they'll tell you that wasn't their plan originally, and once they did the hiring and the interview and whatever, I think it was. But Alex Cora's top 2 choices were the White Sox and the Red Sox. And if Alex Cora would have went to that White Sox team, oh my God, it would have been ugly. It would have been really ugly for that division. So, we'll move on. We talked a lot about that game, and I think a lot of it is diversing. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a very, very fun few weeks, or I should say, fun week for everyone else in the AL East, just watching how the Blue Jays and the Red Sox play here, because the Red Sox are playing a bunch of division games in a row here, and they've had a really shitty record in the division. So we'll figure out what's going on there. And the Blue Jays come back from that West Coast road trip. Will they get their shit together coming back east? Who knows? And they're playing a good Philly squad. I mean, I like your Phillies team, Andrew, and it'll be interesting to see what those lines are.
I will say an early thing. Obviously, you'll touch on it on Tuesday and Wednesday, but there's rumors the Phillies got to shake up their roster a little bit because of the vaccination rules in Canada. So just pay attention to that when you guys go over the Phillies Toronto games this upcoming week.
Has any news of that been already released?
Not yet, but the Phillies already shook up their starting rotation a little bit. Zach Wheeler's going Tuesday. The way they did that, so he'll be fine. But the other stuff, it should be pretty interesting there because they're already trying to. They're already shaking things up in the minors too and stuff. So it's the thing I was reading is they'll probably address it this after today's game. So it's something to look out for.
JT Realmuto gone. Kyle Schwarber.
Well, the article I was reading on the Athletic about it, like it's almost the way it made it seem like. He's like, it was the exact wording was the Phillies will have to make significant roster changes ahead of Tuesday's game. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It will be. It will be indeed. Let's move on to the showcase game of the night. Game 4 of this series. Red Sox, Yankees. And now, really, if the Red Sox get a split here, that is a big win for the Red Sox. There was a a point where I was like, I'll take a sweep, whatever, man. This series doesn't matter. This is just a statement series to see who hits who, and we'll keep these notes for October. But now you win last night in walk-off fashion. Thank you, Alex Verdugo. Thank you, Jeter Downs. Jeter Downs scoring 2 runs against the Yankees, getting his first hit and his first RBI against the Yankees too. Just, of course. But unfortunately, Andrew, everyone seems to be on the Yankees. And I can see why. Nick Pavetta's numbers against the Yankees, they're not good. I was going to try to spin it in some form or fashion. They're not good. He's pitched against them this year. He didn't pitch well. Tyone against the Red Sox, his numbers are better. Comes off a shitty start. Both these pitchers are coming off shitty starts. Pavetta 5 2/3, 8 hits, 7 runs against the Rays. And then against the Pirates, Tyone against his former team gave up 5, which we were on, thankfully. So I don't know where to go here, Andrew. We've got the Yankees hitting hitting eighth against righties at 117 weighted runs created plus, while the Red Sox are about average, 100 weighted runs created plus at 16th. AJ 1337 saying Devers is still out today, and a lot of Pavetta is going to get cracked against the Yankees tonight. So what do you think, Andrew?
Well, his last time out against the Yankees, he threw 5 2/3, gave up 4 runs. I mean, it's not great, but not bad. Could be worse against the Yankees lineup. Overall, Pavetta career numbers, Yankees are only hitting 223 off him. So I mean that's something to take note of as a whole. I don't know. I like Jameson Talon. I think he's gonna go out and throw well. I don't like picking either winners here. I'd go towards figuring out the over under here. Because I mean I think this game could go either way. And you don't know which Nick Pavetta is going to show up. You don't know which Nick Pavetta is going to show up. That's the problem.
And you're right. We really don't. And sometimes at home, it's kind of questionable too. And we've had 3 straight overs in this series, and I've bet all 3. And yesterday was a really lucky over. I can fully admit that. Everyone was on the under. Well, everyone was on the over, but money was moving towards the under. And I was like, oh man, here we go. This is a public play. Everyone's going to get fucking crushed. But luckily barely got over. And I kind of feel like this is going to be an under game here, Andrew, truthfully. I think this might be a lower scoring game. But the issue is, Andrew, and I hate to say this, Andrew, the Red Sox can hit the Yankees bullpen a little bit. They can get to him a little bit. Clay Holmes looked like a regular human being. Michael King looks like a regular human being against the Red Sox, you know? The rotation, every Yankee starter in this rotation that has played the Red Sox so far has looked pretty average, you know? Nestor Cortez didn't look all that great. Garrett Cole never pitches well against the Red Sox. Jameson's got good numbers against the Red Sox, but I don't know. I still don't really. Maybe I'm a biased asshole, but he doesn't scare me. There's no. If he throws like 7 innings shutout, I'd be a little surprised, you know. But you know,
his rodeo raise 349.
Cheshire Cat is saying, of course, Jose is going to say this, and you know, of course, I am going to say this. You know that is my DNA. I'm literally wearing my 2004 American League Championship Series T-shirt. Can someone remind me what happened in that series? I was too much of a baby to remember to watch. You know, let me know what happened in the 2004 American League Championship Series. But I ultimately I'd probably lean towards an under here. But I'd pass. I'm passing. I can see everyone else is picking the Yankees here, first 5 full game, and I can see why. But you know, I'm a biased asshole, and I'll pass, I guess.
Yeah, it's good. Again, it's gonna be an interesting game because Talion, he gave up 5 runs his last outing, six runs outing before that against the Astros. So he's been kind of up and down in his last few outings. While Pavetta's threw 5 quality starts before his bad outing last week, which I mean, you're obviously you're bound for a bad game there. So see how he bounces back. I'm gonna go under as well, but again, I already mentioned I'd pass on picking a winner here.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a fun game.
It's a fun Sunday night game.
I'll say this:
are the balls gonna be juiced though? Sunday Night Baseball.
You know, that's a good point. That's an excellent point, Andrew. Man, it's so funny. I still cannot believe the most like I don't know what like to describe it as. Just like I wasn't angry, just like disappointed, or just like when I realized what gambling was and what Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball are, is when I'm like, oh, the Field of Dreams game. They've got a weird backdrop. It's gonna be unders all day, unders, and then just the best high scoring game out there. And then like a month later, they're like, oh yeah, we juiced the balls for the Field of Dreams game because we wanted better offensive and higher ratings. So I was like, okay, what the fuck? So when you say that, like, I wish that I could be like, oh yeah, you're just conspiracy theories, all this shit. But no,
They admitted to it. The best baseball thing ever to admit to that.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. By the way, Angels are up 2-0, so that's not ideal. But yeah, it's crazy to say. That's another thing where I'm like, I can't bet the over or under there. So pass game for me, and that concludes our card. And Saturated says, how does that surprise you? Because I tend to not want to believe like all the conspiracy theories. Like I don't believe that like basketball like has like certain refs that they use to extend series, for example. But it happens. It really does. And it's just shocking to see sometimes, Tim Donaghy and all that stuff. And it's just really funny, maybe I just want to be a little ignorant. But it's just surprising. And Control Your Wrestle, you're right. It's a surprise that they admitted it, I guess. I shouldn't be surprised that it happens. But yeah, baseball has that shit, the pass interferences in NFL, yeah, it is what it is. So let's get into this recap here, Andrew. It's going to be a rather quick recap because I've got 3.5 plays really. The half being the Seattle Mariners first five, which has not come out yet for me officially. But I'll recap them real quick. I've got Orioles money line. I'll turn on the game here after the show ends. But I've got Orioles money line -110. Maybe their 7-game win streak snaps today, but they've been a magic late inning ball club team. So don't throw away your faith yet. Don't throw away your faith yet. I've got Rays first five -0.5 at +105 and Seattle money line -120. And remember that Seattle money line -120 will be regardless of who pitches. So it's Logan Gilbert assumed for the Mariners versus whoever. So that's like an action bet. And then once the pitchers get announced and the first five markets get announced, I'll be moving on. Most likely I'll be moving on first five -0.5 or first five money line. AJ 1337 has Mariners first five -0.5 at +105. AJ, thank you for sending that. I'll just use that as the line for right now. I'll write that down as -0.5 at +105. I'll probably get around the same number, but I'll tweet it out officially after the show, and then I'll make a note and change the odds when I get them. Even if they're the same odds, I'll probably leave them, but we'll see. Andrew, what are you on?
3 plays. I had the Marlins Mets under at -114, Rays run line -1.5 at +116, and then the White Sox team total over 4.5 at -116.
Beautiful, Andrew. I appreciate you joining me as always.
Anytime I'm available.
Yeah, well, I hope you're there for Say Hey 100. Like I said, Friday is going to be a fun time. Say Hey 100. I'll keep pumping it up, and it'll be a great time. We'll be back again here, of course, tomorrow, Monday, 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. Jimmy the Bag joining me on a Monday, so it'll be fun having my dad. I can tell him about all my exploits and how well I did, and he can be a proud papa and all that good stuff, and all that, and it'll be a fun time. Andrew, where can the people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at AJ_Santangelo. A couple other podcasts I do, Philly Sports Now, and So You Think You Can Manage, which can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
So You Think You Can Manage. Shout out to them. Shout out to Joe, of course. Joe doing his thing. What's Joe's last name again? Barucki?
Bork?
Bork? No, Barucki is the pitcher for the Blue Jays that is now on the Mariners. Appreciate everyone for watching as always. Andrew, oh boy, a real deal prime. If Andrew Benintendi goes to the Yankees, I will need to be sedated. I will need to be sedated, but I do see those rumors, and I'm not going to pretend like they exist. Control Your Vessel. Thanks for watching, my guy. Not applicable Real Deal Prime, AJ, thank you for that line. Mr. MDR, all you guys, thank you as always. Even Mills and his Yankees sensibilities, appreciate it. As always, thanks for coming in and watching. We've got a long season to go, but we're almost at the kind of the halfway point. It's not really the halfway point, but we're almost at a resting spot. Say hey, 95, a great one. I appreciate you, Andrew. We'll be back again tomorrow. And then everyone, until then, don't forget to say hey on social media, and we'll see you guys.